Welcome to the Business Value Exchange. My name is Helen Beckett and I'm the community moderator. Delighted to have with me today Colin Gautrey, who's an executive coach and author on 5 books about power and influence in the C-suite. Welcome, Colin.
Thank you. Lovely to be here.
It's a really timely conversation because this month we are focusing on digital leadership on the Business Value Exchange. And so I'm really looking forward to getting your views, which are quite controversial, about power and the use of it. You know, power has a bit of a besmirched reputation nowadays. We think of the House of Cards and political life. Why should the executive not fight shy of power? Why is it an essential tool in today's business world?
Well, I think there's one very interesting thought that's just occurred to me as you were talking there. An executive becomes an executive because they have accumulated power. So to actually say they don't like power is a bit of an interesting sort of thought, because really power is the capacity to influence, to get to the top job. So CFO or COO or one of the senior C-suite positions, they've got to have been able to influence rather effectively. And I think really what it's all about is about the intent that sits behind the actions that people with power actually use. And so Mahatma Gandhi was very, very powerful and exerted a huge amount of influence. So all the good that happens in the world happens because of power. But unfortunately, most of the media seem obsessed with the abuses of power and where it all goes wrong. So, I think, power is about the intent that you've got behind it, and the way, and also the means and the extent that you are prepared to go for. If you've got integrity, if you've got ethics, if you've got some sort of moral sort of compass deep within you, chances are you won't create harm. You'll do your best for the people that you're looking after and the people that you're serving. So, hey, go get some more.
Okay, so there's a clear green light to all executives is not to be afraid of their power, to go ahead and acquire it and use it for their and the business's purposes. But power structures are changing enormously right now because of the digital economy. Can you just talk about the challenges and opportunities for executives in the C-suite given power?
Yeah, certainly. I mean, there's a lot changing, and at the root of it is, if you think about power as the capacity to influence, how is influencing working within big organisation and also outside of big organisations, as in what they're subjected to in their environment. And the speed of communication is at lightning force now. A lot of people have access to the communication mechanisms, and I think executives really need to wise up to the way communication is flowing, because that's how power is built, solidified and increased, through the communication by getting people on side. So getting into their internal social media networks, not in a reluctant way, but embrace it, really get involved, roll your sleeves up and get into the conversation that is going on, because if you're not in there, the conversation is going to be going on anyway. So better be part of it, be in there to be able to influence and to connect more effectively with your people.
So that's interesting. Like within the last, few years recently, so the etiquette, the rituals, the avenues for communication have changed, radically, beyond recognition almost. And I suppose that some sort of, in their lofty towers may be quite fearful of that, but you're saying absolutely no. You've got to be in there talking to staff, having this open line of communication in order to retain the power before it disperses, I'm guessing.
Well, power is a lot more fluid than it ever used to, and it ebbs and flows a lot more quickly because of the speed of communication. But interesting, maybe slightly dated example that's just come to my mind. I remember once, quite a few years ago, introducing an e-commerce strategy to a board of directors in the company that I was working, and hardly any of them had actually used the internet at that stage. So how could they make effective decisions about a corporate strategy when they weren't really embracing it? And with so many organizations, particularly in the digital age, they've got to be really in it, to be experiencing it, to understand how it's working, so that they can make their decisions, let alone engage and influence their organizations. So I think it's really important they, don't shy away from all of these different media. And it's an interesting factor that they are far more visible than they've ever been before, which is another feature of the times. It used to be just celebrities that needed to watch how they were perceived. So I think every senior manager, or even arguably every middle manager, needs to be thinking, okay, what's my personal online profile looking like at the moment? How am I protecting it? How am I boosting it in a deliberate way? And I think that's a major concern and a major skill that people have got to have, how to manage their reputation.
Wow, so a huge opportunity there to be visible, to engage, to communicate with your reputation. And so, really, I'm hearing ditch any fears concerning these new avenues, social media, and executives must really kind of get stuck in. So, thank you so much, Colin Gautrey, for sharing
My
those
pleasure.
thoughts today.